As you mentioned, I retired from the Air Force. We were stationed at Shaw and stayed in Sumter. And when that happened, and even before that happened, while Sumter is an amazing town supporting the military, it's incredible. When I was here before and this time, it is amazing. But it's not always easy for military members to make friends in a town when they work on base and maybe you only get to see someone a couple hours once a week. The Sumter Soccer Club, for my family, really helped bridge that gap. We met so many new friends in our neighborhood that we may not have had a chance to meet, which led to neighborhood events and events in other people's neighborhoods that really helped us feel like we were now part of Sumter as a community. Sumter Soccer Club has 2 seasons every year. There is a spring season and a fall season. Obviously, as you imagine, we're in the spring season now, and it's typically a little smaller because the older kids are in school activities and they have other sports that they're playing. It's the nature of a town the size of Sumter. And so tonight is the beginning of our juniors program, and it starts at 5:30 tonight. It just started, you have it in the background. And it will go through 7 weeks where we have an organization that comes in and helps us coach and instruct the kids from all levels, from 3 all the way up to 12 and under for this portion of the league. And on top of that, once you are 12-year-old and older, you can go play in our travel league. We call it the Sumter Soccer Club Academy, but it's a travel league where we play teams against Columbia, Greenville occasionally, a lot of Charleston teams. And then we even go to Rock Hill and some Myrtle Beach tournaments, so we go all the way around the state. So I'd never been a place that has a tennis facility like Sumter has, except for when we were stationed in Washington, D.C., and that still had to drive over an hour, right? I mean, you're talking, you have to go to southern Florida. There are some resorts in Charleston that have nice facilities, but nothing like Sumter. And same kind of thing that you mentioned with Patriot Park, right? It's so accessible to the city, which is just not that common, even for places that have good facilities. Oftentimes, unless you're not part of a certain club that's part of it, or part of the city leagues, that you don't have access to the park. So it's really an amazing capability. And for the club, we love all of that, right? So the facilities that we're standing on now are actually donated to us. We use them, we don't own them. And the owner is really happy to have us here as long as we take care of it. And he's a big fan of the club as well. And so we love to leverage Patriot Park when we can, right? But also to leave it open for other clubs and other events. So population centers in South Carolina, Greenville, Charleston, Columbia. They already have big, thriving soccer programs, and they have competed well at the national level. Greenville's had 2 or 3 teams win at several age groups on the national level at the ECNL, which is the highest, the challenge, the national league. If you look at Sumter, again, based off population size, we're growing our soccer program exactly as I would expect it to grow. Coming out of COVID, right, has been a challenge, but if you look at the participation we're getting all the way across all portions of the town, plus some surrounding areas, I think you're going to see just a nice continual growth of soccer popularity in Sumter proper and in the local areas, because Florence has a good program. They're growing. Columbia has an elite program. Charleston has an elite program, right? So eventually we're going to be able to compete with those teams, which is really exciting, right? The small town goes to the big town and can beat their teams, and they've been doing it for 5 more years, right? That's a great narrative for the town. So that's why I think the sport will continue to grow.
No one takes care of families like Prisma Health. As South Carolina's largest health system, we have nearly 600 primary care doctors across the Midlands and upstate. So you can choose the one who's right for you. With a more personalized approach, more locations, and more convenience, including 24/7 virtual urgent care and online or in-person visits with your primary care doctor, we're doing even more to help you be your healthiest you. Prisma Health, the primary care experts.